Mr. Trayvon to come forward for this session. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Triplett. Got two recognitions I want to speak to you tonight. First is we want to celebrate 16 seniors who walked the stage over our summer graduation. And I want to invite Dr. Deborah Powell to speak a little bit more about that event. Like say good evening, everyone. Good evening. An exciting thing that happened, we go through life and we just take a lot of things for granted. We expect kids to graduate and flawlessly go through everything. But our superintendent and our leadership and the leadership at CASA and the high school, we recognize that we will not take anything for granted. We will work to support our children, and it's just wonderful that we had 16 graduates that actually graduated during this summer session. And I want to publicly commend Reverend David Parker for serving in such an important role as an administrator for that time. Bounce back. Our children know how to bounce back from any roadblock that's given to them, any stumbling block that's put before them. They pick themselves up. They focused in that building. They had a new mindset because there was an immediate goal that was set. Oftentimes, when you're going through high school, you're going through a lot of classes that you have to attend, and these things that they're far off in your view. But these kids knew what was at stake. They knew that what was necessary, and the teachers supported them. So I stand before you all and stand before the world saying some good things are happening here in Normandy School District. And our students are graduating with bounce back power. So let's celebrate our students for every achievement that they have achieved. Because we are one Normandy, we're powerful, we're strong, and we're supporting our students here. Thank you all so much. Before we allow you to leave, we also want you to know that we are really grateful for the work that we're doing in our district for all the students. We just a little bit more time, a little bit extra care to get over the finish line. We didn't remove the barriers, we didn't lower the standards, we just gave them a little bit more support to help them get over it. So thank you for that hard work. Are there any other comments at this time? Just a little briefly, President. Can you briefly explain to the board what we're doing for those who are deficient before it gets later? Yes, we have several opportunities for our students. One of the new initiatives that we're actually opening up at the high school this year is our Success Academy. It is going to be ran by none other than our high school principal, Mr. Jerome Lane. And what we're looking at is those kids who have hiccup in their behavior, instead of putting them out of school, they will go to the Success Academy where there will be caring staff giving them direction on what to do. Those students that may be teetering on not graduating on time, they will go to that Success Academy and they will make sure, the teachers will make sure that they are recovering those credits. The other teachers will also be involved because they will give credence and give release to those students to make sure that we give them the support. Those kinds of things are important. And for those students who really violate our school policy, that's why we have a CASA. Because if they violate the school policy and they go through our emergency times when we're having hearings for them, we don't start them away. We bring them over to CASA where we help them continue their course of excellence with trying to graduate and supporting them with their credits. A new initiative that we're putting in now, and it's the vision of our superintendent, is we are now starting our Missouri options. Those Missouri option students will qualify based on the test that they will take in order to say, okay, they may not have the credits. They might be 17 years of age and they're 2 years behind credit-wise with their colleagues. But you know what? They might want to continue to work. So how do we pull them out of the workforce 100% of the time and into Normandy School District? So Missouri Options will require them to come to school 15 hours per week. They will get specialized training on core subjects, including writing, which makes it the fifth one. And then after that, we have a contract and an agreement with MERS Goodwill where they'll go upstairs for job training. That's the other portion that they must do with the Missouri Outreach Program. We are inviting everyone to go and get your relatives that may have dropped out, your relatives that are age 17 and above that say, well, we just don't want to have to go to school all the time. Let them go part-time and have work. But come in and get that regular high school diploma. You all remember the GED test. It's called High Step now. And they will take those courses, they will fulfill the requirements, they will go and get that regular high school diploma that will be signed by Principal Gerald Nade. It will not be signed by anybody's apostle because it will be a regular high school diploma that they will obtain. So look out for our Missouri Outreach Program and make sure you let people know we're doing some unique things here in Normandy. Some collective things here in Normandy. We want to just get our students across the threshold and give them a solid foundation for success in life. Thank you all so very much. Thank you so much. So as we begin this new school year, we wanted to introduce our first kind of a fun way, convocation. So the communications department was tasked for creating a video. So we want to show the video real quick. And before we do, I really wanted to give a shout out to the communications team. Kennedy Davis, who was here, was the training. Obviously, not only is the president really behind the part. So here's a video that we showed your convocations. You are president. Smother the blues, protect the best. There's room for you, room for me. Gentle hearts and opportunity. It's the big of the family. And again, that was just a fun way to have everyone at Normandy staff be introduced to the school leaders.
Great.
Right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate meeting the leadership in our school buildings. We all remember our principals, and so it's great to be able to get a feel for who's leading our school efforts. Any comments from the board? Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Moving along, we are now at item 6, items for information. At this point, we're going to invite Mr. Jossie Hayes to the podium with KAI, item 6.01, KAI Prop V update.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, board. Good evening, President Hodge, Dr. Triplett, school board. Hope you had a good time off. Some of you were working all the way through, but we were. And I'm going to show you what we've been doing. So, Prop V, change management. I think you understand this slide. We've gone over it many times. This is just the 4 projects kind of culminating into one. Looking at them, so the 4 projects shown, the 3 on the side, but the last 2, Central and East Hall, were one contract. And this is just a depiction of the fact that as we look through the project, we have construction-related items, unforeseen items that we've been calculating and making sure that we've been tracking, and that normally that these costs would be higher. But even with all the challenges on the project, we've been able to maintain under a 7% contingency. Uh, so KAI's contract amendment process. Again, the identification of cost, the valuation of the proposed cost, negotiating the better costs, reaching the recommended costs, reviewing and review at the bond meeting for NSC approval, and issued. And when we get approval, we issue all the documents. This time, make sure that we put together and sets it back where if anybody has questions, process for it. Current completion dates, so West Hall is complete, SCA is complete, East Hall is complete, Central Hall is complete, bus lot is to be determined, and we're working currently on the SCS, the boardroom, and plan on ending that in the Q4 of this year. Construction progress update. So as you know, this project is complete, but we just wanted to kind of highlight some of the things that we've completed, which most notably is the punch list process, which is, I think we have like 2 items, maybe 1 item, which is down to the doors. But nothing is impeding the access or use of the facility. It's just 1 item that we're wrapping up and we're almost here. Central Hall improvements. So this is the last time we had, this was not looking like this. Now I have furniture in the facility. The walls are done. You see, the board, the classroom has all the technology up. And I believe all of it is working currently, so it's ready to go. Central Hall construction renovation progress. This is the seminar room, computer classrooms, science labs. This is the board band rooms, the arts room. Here's a picture of a work that you'll never see now because it's complete, but work that had to be done. These were things that were identified during the project that was not a part of the original project, but things that need to be completed and done so that we do not have any accidents while students around. So we went ahead and done the underground utility work that needed to be completed. After it was identified that there was an issue with the structural component of this space, we got it fixed and got ready for use right now. So this is what it looks like throughout the process. And it's complete. So here is some more visuals of the completed work for Central Hall. Here is the campus support boardroom. This is just a 2D drawing of what it's proposed to look like. What's the proposal of what's going to look like. We're currently in the design phase. If you remember from the last time I was here, we talked about we tore the building apart to identify any unforeseen conditions so we can eliminate as much as possible any unforeseen or change orders that would happen on the project. We've been working tirelessly with the construction team, our design team, to put together a set of drawings that will not only do this work, but as it's depicted on the plans, but also have all the IT, plumbing, the electrical, all those different components in this drawing so that we are not seeing any unforeseen conditions or change orders. Currently, again, we are in the phase 3 pricing and production construction documents. Another picture of the boardroom from a picture standpoint. Here's what it looks like currently. This is the current state is cleared, and we are in the process of finishing the drawings. We are doing the design build process. The architect is working with the contractors to put together the plans with the MEP. the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing vendors. And after we're done with that, we're going to submit for permitting, and then we're going to get this project ready. Funds allocated, this is sources of funds, which includes the property, but also other funds that has to be included in order to make the total budget for this project. And we're looking at the sources total at $44,740,217. Here's the cost change orders to date property. So we have original contract at 30, and as you go down, we have all the food changes, the pending costs, and the potential change orders that are out currently, and then also any of the new amendments that we have been looking at has been allocated to $8 million. That's where we believe we're going to head towards the project. If you remember that number, it's going down and down as we started to take off things that are not pertinent to complete this project, and it looks pretty good. There's our business utilization updates, MBE, and WBE, which is minority business enterprises and women business enterprise firms that have been on the project. As we're wrapping this project down, those percentages will go down further because we don't have that project. So we're still tracking it, but we think we've done as well as anyone could have done 25%, 33% versus 25%, and a 3% versus 5% goal. So, savings, we're still tracking savings. There's continually as we wrap up this project, these projects, we are still tracking. It's small change, but like my wife, she says, every nickel makes a lot. Every little bit makes a lot. So we're continuing to track the savings we're having on the project, and this is where we're doing. It's currently at 1.8 million. If you remember, it was at one time 1.6. So that's been going up, which is a good sign. Just a reminder of some of the work that we've been doing throughout the project, construction career fairs, lunch and learns. We've had students out. We have currently a student that has been accepted and is now ready to get started in the architectural engineering field. And the career events that we have with students throughout this project. It's been a beautiful thing, and I'm happy to see that we've not only seen interest in this industry, but also have some students who are executing on that issue. Thank you. Any questions?
Great. Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate the update, and we're really excited as we go into a new school year where our high school students will be entering the state-of-the-art building at our high school. I don't remember ever having that kind of experience. These are the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. And our students are worthy of this kind of excellence. So what I'll do is I'll see if there are any questions from the board, starting at the very end. I think Dr. Petty.
Good evening, and thank you for your presentation. I believe you mentioned that there is a construction change order process that you follow every single time there's a change order. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, sir.
What evidence can you provide that that process is being followed? What can you share as documentation by way of that process being followed?
And all of our construction processes identify the documentation. All that documentation has been provided to the district. They have that over with Mr. Brooks has all of it. I think when he came on board, he asked for every single piece of paper that we generated from the beginning of the project till now. And everything that we have goes to
Speak specifically to the change order.
change order. Yeah, it's the same process. It's no different. It's nothing different than that. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you. Sherwin Roberts.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I got an opportunity finally to go and see the library, and I was definitely too. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you all coming so prepared and all our questions.
Teresa Pearson.
Good evening, Jesse.
Good evening.
First, I'm gonna say thank you for sticking with the project. I've signed my hard wish, my what. So my first question is, the board room, you said it, for the 2024 school year, or you said December? December. Okay. And then, there was a mention about Hall of Fame walk for the link. Is that still, in the works?
So what we've discussed in the bond meetings, and again, anyone is welcome to come. We have our bond meeting and our OAC meeting in the morning at 9 o'clock. If you would like to see the process of how we go through things, you're welcome to come. It's open to the board and to the school. Anyone's no, Dr. Frick, no, that's okay. No, he said, okay, he said it down. But bottom line is that you come. Bottom line is that the alumni wall, there's not many places for the wall to put for it to be done. So what we've talked about doing is there's an open space right at the bottom, right close to the commons. We talked about making it more like almost like a museum, so that it can house some of the equipment or the all the staff, any of the trophies or any kind of like a trophy else. So that's the plan currently in conversation. Uh, because the walls are really not, there's not a lot of space for but an alumni wall. We have in design currently.
Um, my next question would be, is there a set ribbon cutting for the rotunda or, everything that's added? Because like, our president said, this is a new building. When I walk, um, all of the buildings not connected. So, great salary for, you.
The answer is that that is a decision that the school will make. We will be present and we can get the ribbons and the different things ready for that presentation. But I believe there is conversation about it and if there's forthcoming.
Alright, and my last question is, will you, stick with this project until completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you so much. Eric,
Good evening.
Good evening.
When I first met you, I did not know the severity of how many changes you were while you were, on this project, or assigned to this project. So I just want to, commend you for, as, Director Pearson said, for sticking with this project all the way through, through the challenges, that could slow any project down. And it's, amazing to see that each building is complete. I think that deserves a round of applause because and, it's pleasing to see as I pass by Normandy every day from start to finish, and to know that our students will benefit from our beautiful buildings. So I again appreciate you and all what you've done for this project.
Mr. Governor, can I take all the name? It's a family. It has been a joint effort, and I'm so happy to see when babies are walking in those spaces and using it. And they've been keeping it up. I hope they can keep it up and they keep it clean and the way it's looking. I'm excited about that. Thank you, Director Edwards. Secretary,
Good evening.
good evening.
Thank you again for the presentation. Thank you again for all of your hard work. And as you said, all of the changes that you've gone through. We're just so thankful you haven't earned any gray hairs by now. That's project. Keep up the good work. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Secretary Taylor. Vice President William Hall.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity to personally thank you for the work because I've literally said in all of the meetings as board member and owner's representative. And so the questions that you all ask here, multiply those times by 10. Because that's the number of questions that I ask in those meetings. And so it's been a labor of love. We appreciate all that's been done. And at this point, we still have work to do. We got more work to do. There's lots of work there. And at this point, I know for a period of time we got a rest break because we were literally doing three meetings a week for months and months and months. And then over the summer, we got increased down to one, down back into two. So, we'll continue to work. We appreciate all that you've done. And I look forward, as everyone else does, first day of school when our students come back in. My biggest concern is just to echo what you said, is that students will appreciate what they have, and that in order to maintain it, there's a level of self-management that must be present. And so as we move forward, we're not looking to come back and have large repair bills because this has been broken and that's been broken. We ask everyone to appreciate it, enjoy it, and respect it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have no additional comments. Thank you for your service, and we look forward to closing this out soon. Thank you. Let me stop. Yes, we can give him a round. Moving on to item 6.02, year-to-date financial summary, and as Alderman Woods.
Right. Good evening, Joint Executive Governor Award, Dr. Triplett, and Normal Schools community. Great to see all you fine people this evening. As Dan is the square away, we have some positive things to share with you. One of the things that I really appreciate also that Jossie and our construction management team shared, this project, other districts I've worked on about $100 million of construction, but never have I been involved in a project in one underground way we have here. Those underground utility tunnels and the unforeseen conditions there, those are being addressed now. So the great site we see on top, we've gone underground. We've dealt with piping and tunnels that are 50, 60, 80, 100 years old. There have been asbestos issues that have been addressed, all kinds of things. So this is really a quality product that's being turned over to our students and our community. So I commend that. It's been wonderful to be a part of this. We've had some challenges. I think, Dr. Petty, you mentioned about the change order process. I appreciate you mentioning that. I mean, we really have very diligent, really looking for those things to ensure that we're spending more than we should. We have a process that's systematic and rationale that we track. All of the change orders are accounted for, they're numerically numbered. We vet those things. Mr. Humphreys, he's mentioned, he sits in all those meetings, as do I, Ms. Days and others, and we meticulously go through those items. Dr. Triplett is sent in often on those things and signs off. Mr. Hodge is board president. So there's an extensive process that goes into this. Those of us that are old enough remember the old quasar by Blip. She used to say that the quality goes in before the name goes on. And that's kind of exactly what's going on in this process. So I just kind of wanted to mention that as we move forward for a few minutes through this financial process. Looking at the district's financial position and our performance, this is actually the financial position and performance for the year ended June 30th. So this is a nice snapshot of the year just finished. We finished the year with fund reserves at about $26.5 or $26.6 million, which represents a 39.53% overall fund reserve, which is pretty strong and solid. Our year-to-date revenues track, this is unaudited, but pretty accurate. We generated $68,078,000 in revenues over the course of the year. A lot of that money came in for the month of June from state basic formula collections on weighted average daily attendance, which represented just under $2 million of revenue that we collected in the month of June. Additionally, we had Prop C sales tax revenues coming in at about just under $300,000. So those were the big revenue collections that we received in the month of June. Overall expenditures through the entire year came in at just under $80 million, $79.4 million. Of course, our largest costs are personnel, with our salaries and benefits package to those staff members. So our total fund balance reserves in the district, when we look at just the general, we call the general and incidental operating fund reserve that came in with about $17 million in reserves, roughly 33.47% of a fund reserve through the end of the year. That's pretty solid and strong. As I mentioned to you before, the state requires a 3% fund reserve, and we are more than 10 times above that. And so, again, as I had also mentioned a little bit earlier, the overall fund reserve for funds for savings in all of our accounts comes to 39.53%. As I had mentioned, we basically had an ending reserve ending last year at about 37.9 million. We had revenues coming in at 68 million. We had expenditures at about 79 million. Let me mention this: we had a lot of the property project money spent. Yes, sir, free money. Some of that was attached to that, but we've been really working hard to get this project completed, and so we expended a lot of funding this past fiscal year for that end. Again, our ending fund reserves in total are 26.5 million. Again, with our overall fund reserves at 39.53%, and our operating fund reserves at just the general, the teachers fund, coming in at 33.47%. And so that's pretty much our financial update. In finance, in our business office, of course, we have other key things that we are working on. In wrapping up, we have, of course, the annual secretary report, which is like a financial Bible that we roll out. It's due by August 15th. We're wrapping that up and are planning to submit that tomorrow. In addition, the business office is working with our new auditors, Daniel Jones and Associates CPAs. They're going to be on site to do their initial interim field work, August the 26th through the 28th. And so we've been providing them with all the information that they need. We're working to get that financial report to you all, an audit report from the auditors at the early December meeting. And finally, we are also working with St. Louis County on our property tax assessment. So we have to set our tax levy at the end of September. We're going to be working on that as well. So as you all know, we saw our assessed valuations countywide in our Normandy schools go up about 23 to 24% last year, which was phenomenal, very strong. This year, this is we call a non-reassessment year, where usually your even years, this is 2024, so it's an even year, so there is not a reassessment of your property values. There is a reassessment during the uneven years, like 2023, for instance. And so this year we project that our assessed valuations will probably likely go up. They'll go up usually about 1 or 2% over the prior year. So that's something that will allow taxpayers some relief. And so those are some of the major things that we're currently working on as well in our finance department. And with that, without any further ado, I will entertain any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. We will start here just to my right with Mr. Vice President.
The only question I had, I guess probably a few presentations back, you talked about a conversation around a concept called fiscal cliff after extra monies had been expended. Can you speak to us a little bit about where we are relative to that?
Yes. Great question. So with the fiscal cliff that we talked about some months back, you all know that was around the stimulus money that we received, specifically the ESSER 3 monies that we've received. Those monies are due to dissipate or go away by September the 30th. So those monies technically go away. And so the question and concern is, okay, those monies, those stimulus monies going away, given the COVID impact, how are we going to do as a district? So what we've done is we've been shifting salary costs. We've been shifting those costs over to the general operating budget. We have been also shifting some of those costs over to, say, federal Title I programming to carry some of those costs. So we're okay, but we're going to see it. You saw this tonight. While our fund reserve, our fund balance actually is solid and strong, it's going to remain that way, but it's going to begin to drive down over the next several months. Where it's at 33.5%, that's going to drop probably, we want to keep that north of 15%. But that will drop down to the end of the year, then it'll pop back up. So we're weathering the storm, but the impact of this is rather than carrying, say, a 33, 35, 40% fund reserve, because of now the fiscal limit and absorbing those costs, our funding source got to drop down to maybe around 20% or a little bit under, which is still a solid and strong funding source financial position.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Secretary Tigger.
Thank you for your presentation. No questions.
Director Edwards. Director Pearson.
Back school year, balancing so decrease dramatically.
It will grow, if predicting will again, by the end of this year, it's going to drop down probably under 20%. But we're going to get a lot of our revenue on these December, January, our tax assessment. Our tax receipts are going to be in December or January. It's going to pop back up. But by the end of, answer your question, Pearson, by the end of the fiscal year, by say June 30th of 2025, it's going to probably be down to about 25%, still in a strong position.
Thank you. That's one of the questions.
Director Milton Roberts. Director Pettit.
Thank you for your leadership and your stewardship around the district's financial resources. Just one question, with regard to the documentation that's been submitted to you regarding the change orders. Does any of that documentation include a second opinion or third party evaluation, or is it that the construction company is releasing itself?
Well, we do have, it's a great question. So the leasing that goes on and the internal controls that have been wrapped around this process include the construction manager is our own rep, so we're working with them. We have an independent architect that also is a part of this process, along with, of course, the construction the construction team, Loudon Construction specifically. And then in addition to that, we have board member representation, Mr. Humphrey, and myself, Dave, Dr. Triplett, and others that vet and sit in these meetings and evaluate employees' expenditures. So there is a pretty extensive, and coming from my audit background, there's an extensive process to look at this both internally and externally.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. I don't have any questions, but there's a lot of conversation around the board's responsibility for overseeing the expenditures of the district. And you've been very helpful to us in reiterating the board's responsibility as it relates to oversight of our budget. I'm just wondering, have any advice, any encouragement for board members in these given times as it relates to?
That's a great question, Josh. I would just recommend you all be what you've been. I think, you all are really concerned about the district's financial position and our budget. And I appreciate that. I think that it's healthy for us to be a little bit, concerned about how we are. And you all are diligent about that. You're careful and you're concerned and you want to study and know exactly what's going on with our finances. That's very important. So my answer to your question is just to remain what you are, what you've been. Just continue. I think at the same time, there's also a level of trust. Maybe some of that takes time and earning it. And I think that we're trusting that we have the resources and our superintendent and our administrative team and our staff members, just building that trust that we've got it. And we're going to ensure that the district is in a good space moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that as an authority in the space, so that I don't have to say that. We don't necessarily have to be CPAs or auditors or financial experts to look diligently at the expenses, to understand where our incomes and our expenses go. So there's an element of trust that is there that we put in our administration, but it is our responsibility as a board to govern, and our first responsibility is to budget and its finances. So thank you for supplying us with the information. Thank you to our board for continuing to be diligent about reviewing and asking really tough questions about the things that we see. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
At this time, we will move to item 6.03, staffing for the upcoming school year.
Good evening, board, Dr. Triplett, and the community. So I just want to go over what we have here. For the upcoming school year, we were looking to fulfill 64 classroom vacancies. We have made tremendous progress in fulfilling these vacancies for the upcoming school year. We have hired about 15 certified teachers since June. We also have identified 3 individuals who qualify to receive initial certification through DESE with the recommendation of the superintendent. From there, we also have secured about 48 subs to help fill those vacancies for the upcoming school year. And so we looking to have about 58 of those classrooms to be filled for the first day of school, with 6 to 9 of the subs in the pipeline this week to help us with fulfilling all those classrooms. And we also have invested in hiring about 52 international teachers that will be arriving soon, that would help with securing those classrooms that will have those subs in. From there, we also have partnered with local institutions such as Harris Stowe, Lindenwood, SLU, and also to help with teacher programs and helping with student teaching, teachers, and TAs, teacher assistants, to secure a certification in teaching. So yeah, that's what we currently have right now. Any questions?
First, I'd like to apologize. I didn't give you a proper introduction. You just heard from our director of HR, Gillian. Thank you so much. I'm sure there are a few questions. We'll start at the far left with Dr. Petty.
Thank you for the update and presentation. Are you aware of any change in the rate of pay for substitute teachers in Norman schools collaborative?
Dr. Petty, can you ask the question again using the microphone so we can all hear you? Thank you so much.
Thank you again for your presentation. My question is, are you aware of any change rate of pay, recent change in the rate of pay of substitute teachers in the Norman schools collaborative?
Are you speaking on the subs through ESS?
Yes, substitute teachers in general. Any substitute teachers that are employed by the collaborative?
Yeah, so ESS, if you employed by ESS and you working at the rate of pay per day, they will be 185. And if you're a long-term sub, the 21st day as a long-term sub, your pay will be 200.
So is that a change in the rate of pay, or is that the same rate of pay?
It's the same for last
Are you aware of any substitute teachers that have recently left their employ with ESS, working in other districts other than the collaborative?
year. No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Director Milton.
Tell me a little bit about the partnerships that you have with local universities and colleges to expand teacher residency programs. I'm just looking at the in here, I'm just trying to understand a little bit about that.
Yes, also have a program where it's the teacher residency, where those individuals who have a bachelor's and not a teaching background, they can go into this program and get their provisional while working on their certification. Um, then we have Sue, which is here today. They have the Aspiring Teacher Program, and she will be able to speak more on that program as well. And then Lindenwood, we have a discount with them to help with furthering teachers' education at those at that university. And then with Harrisville, we have student teaching placement. So we are partnering with Harrisville to help with placing students here in Normandy. So eventually they will be here to, as a teacher.
Thank you, because I really appreciate you focusing on that, because I think it's really important for us to, develop some of our teachers and they can get to our students and so forth, but to grow our own children more. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Director Pearson.
Good evening. My question is, with our international teachers, are they on a certain time limit contracts, or is, sometimes when I inherit, but when you bring on those type of teachers, they come on for like a 2 or 3 year contract. Is it a time limit contract or is it year by year? It's year by year. We do not have a contract with them. They have a J1 visa. So as long as they keep their J1 visa active, and they are vetted as a teacher here in the district, and if we feel that they can go on to the next year, we will offer them a contract. So it's just, yeah, year by year. Thank you.
Director Edwards.
Good evening. Could you tell me, clarify, did you say 48 substitutes or 58 substitutes? So it would be 40, altogether it would be 43 subs, that would be in the classroom, next week. And so, yeah. Okay, and my other question is what is the strategy to inform our parents about the teaching staff that their children may come into that may not be certified? How do you plan to address or answer those questions that come from our parents? Yes, so it is required by basically that we let the parents know if their kids' teacher is certified. So those letters will be coming out through communication soon, as the school year begins, so we can identify, once we identify those classrooms, that will be having us long term. Thank you. Welcome.
Secretary Taylor.
Good evening. Of the 52 international teachers that will be coming, you say they'll just do like a 1 year contract?
It's just based on performance. Classrooms, they will be just evaluated just as a certified teacher. They can be here as long as we need.
Okay, and that was going to be my question. If for any reason there was an issue where they would have to leave and not be able to maintain their position, are we prepared to replace them?
As long as we continue to recruit.
As long as we continue, and are we still offering competitive pay with other school districts?
Yes.
We are doing competitive, because I know that you had said in a meeting that we had that there are ads out there, different things that are going out for the upcoming school year. And according to this, it looks like we're right track. I'm just kind of concerned that 52, that nothing, there are no setbacks, no holdups, and then, because we're expecting that 52, and we're not expecting anything to happen in the process where they may have to leave, say in the middle of the school year.
Yes, so they are being vetted really closely so we can make sure that thank you.
Thank you. Vice President.
Thank you for the update. One of the questions I have, I know you indicate we currently have 64 vacancies, and you indicate that there's 52 potential international teachers coming. I know each time I hear that conversation, it seems like the number keeps moving. We went from 42 to 40, 41 to 42, now we're at 52. One of the things I would like to see at some point is a more comprehensive look at these 52 teachers to find out exactly what schools are they going to, what grade school they'll be assigned to. Because at some point, I know I stepped out of the room for a minute, so someone may have made it, not a statement I'm ready to say, but if they did, I apologize for it. Because of the fact that what information I'm looking at, we have teachers coming from at least 3 different countries. And so I'm concerned about how we onboard them, how we orient them, how we give them culture of Normandy that they will be working in. The other thing that is a concern of mine is the fact that we're putting in a yeoman's effort to bring them in, and we have a 1 year commitment. It's a little scary for me, because I need us to be a little bit more, if we're going to go the effort of bringing in teachers from halfway around the world, I'd like to have more than 1 year commitment because what I don't want to see is us to be used as a training ground to be able to provide professional development and training. And after 1 year, we have people exiting places. I think we need to safeguard our human resources to minimize, that kind of movement as much as we can. I laud the effort that we're bringing them in, but I want to make certain that we're doing all that we can to make sure that after we've invested all the PD we're going to do, all the things we're going to do, that the students are the continual benefactor of those teachers being here. I guess the other question I need to ask, but it's probably not one that you can answer right now because it's actually an HR question. So I'll hold that question until you go to executive session because it's a whole other conversation about it. So, Ms. Humphrey, what question do you want to ask? The question I wanted to ask is this. We have 48 substitutes that will be in those classrooms between now and whatever time the teachers arrive. I need to understand what is the plan for those substitutes. Are they going to stay in the rooms as TAs through the balance of the school year, half this year, or are they going to exit out? We haven't had any conversation around that because right now we have a lot of kids that do not support, and I don't know right now, Brooks, how much of that our budget can support. But we need to be able to look at that because that's a real issue. At the end of the day, if we get somebody and they exit, there's a transition period just because the subs have been there because they have to pass the time to the teacher that's coming in. We want to make sure that there's good continuity of instruction, that's going on there, and that there's a level of support that the subs can continue to provide. We need to figure out how to make that a reality. You've given us a lot of information. So I think that's what I'm going to So to make this simple, can you just address the concern?
Yes, first concern, I know you asked about the placement of the international teachers. Every building will be having international teachers, and I do have a breakdown. So we have about 16 elementary teachers, 10 English teachers, 9 mathematics, 6 social studies teachers, 4 science teachers, plus about 4 more that we are looking to interview tomorrow. We have 2 computer science teachers, 1 French teacher, and 1 home economics teacher. So those teachers will definitely fill the gaps in each building. The next question you asked about the commitment of the year. The commitment is just really based off of what we currently do for our certified teachers here locally. If they performing, if they going through the evaluation and the principals, you know, don't look them as a non-renewal, we will continue to keep them. So that's the commitment. It's really just it's not a year-to-year commitment. It's just like any other certified teacher that we hire.
Uh, does that satisfy your question? So it does. I'll keep the rest of that executive session. All right, and I want to
Yeah.
very careful about. Sure. Thank you. I want to say thank you so much. Our HR department is doing an incredible job of recruiting folks out of the street. This is not an easy task in today's environment. There's an all-out battle for teachers and great teachers across the nation. If you are a teacher, this is your season. Yeah, yeah. If you want to be in a place with the highest, you can go to the place that makes you the highest salary. There are openings. If you want to go to a place that has the greatest opportunity for you to make an impact on somebody like the way the teacher is going to impact on yours and transform and inspire you, if you want to make a really strong statement about who you are in the universe, come and go. We got to get that message out. I saw today that teachers in Normandy do not chase an income. They're chasing a hope, right?
Vice President Humphrey brought us something really important. I think we all need to understand this. If we recruit people to this district, it is our job to keep them here. You don't put people in bondage. We don't put people in bondage. Shame on us if somebody comes to our district and doesn't fall in love. They need to fall in love with this mission, and if it's not the right place for them, we should have figured that out in the interview process. If you come to this district and you didn't know, you did your homework. But if you come here, it's our responsibility, all of us, not just Ms. Gilliard's, to make sure that they want to stay a second here. It's all of our jobs to make sure that we take care of each other as we do this work together. So I just want to publicly thank Ms. Gilliard for her work and her diligence. Can we all give her a round? It's a tough job, and the spotlight is on you. So keep doing the work, but we're all in this together. Thank you all. At this point, we can move on to item 6.04. I think we're going to hear from Officer Norman Campbell now. Press not tonight. Right?
Board President, members of the board, Triple Ladies and so, as you guys are already aware, that we are excited to exhibitions to our crisis alert system, which is called Centeges. At this very point, Centeges has been fully installed in our buildings and ready to go. Our staff is being trained as we speak. We are responding to all the schools right now, training staff and teachers on the Centeges. So we're very excited about it and ready to get going. And the other thing that I have is that square radio system on patients has been fully installed, and we are in the process of training the radios to rise today. So we'll also be able to train everybody on the radio.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We've asked you to help keep us up to date on safety in our district. It's one of our primary concerns. I'd like to start out with my question. How does strategics fit into your larger vision for safety in our district?
Well, it's a communication system, so it helps us communicate very well. That we've never had this technology before, and I always said that when Dr. Strickland first started, that was the very first thing he said to me was that, hey, we have a new system that I want to introduce you to. So that goes right in line with our street radios and just communicating better throughout the district with each other. I mean, I can be anywhere in the district and find out what's happening at the high school or any other school that's on our campuses. If someone's having a crisis alert, our response team will be notified immediately. And I think that you got a chance to see some of it at work. So I'm very excited about just the communicative part of it.
Perfect. I'm going to ask you a question now, and this is a bigger question around safety in our schools. It is absolutely imperative that our students feel safe when they come into our buildings. And safety is probably only second to, is the primary thing for having good relationships, right? Is to feel safe in our buildings. What is your vision for safety in all of the schools in the Normandy Schools Collaborative?
My vision is to have a well-trained staff, as far as security staff, and a well-informed and trained staff for teachers and students. People need to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it when crisis happen, or even if they're afraid of something. And I want to have a system that they're not afraid to tell us, and have a relationship with staff, students, teachers, whomever, to be able to come to us and let us know what's happening in their lives or in their buildings or their classrooms.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go to my left, Vice President Hall.
You mentioned that you're in the process of providing training on strategic. As you look at the rollout of training, do you anticipate all of that training to be completed